From Torrey Gymnasium here in Washington, Illinois, the middle of February marks the start of a season, the second season to be specific, and it's the season where one loss can send you home. Tonight, two Mid-Illini rivals clash in the IHSA Class 3A Regional Semifinals as the state favorite Washington Panthers and their rivals, the Metamora Redbirds, who look to shock the world here tonight. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Michael here alongside a very special guest here in the booth, Claire McDougall. Claire, thanks for joining us here in the booth, and really excited to call some playoff basketball here with you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm grateful for this opportunity, watching two teams that I grew up playing with and against, so I'm really excited to watch the game tonight and just talk about what's happening.
Most definitely, and for the probably few of you that don't know, only a few, Claire, obviously former Washington standout, and you played in these games quite a bit. And it's the second year in a row that Washington has played Metamora here in the playoffs. But just what do you remember about these games, these rivalry games, and just these playoff games in general?
Yeah, these rivalry games especially, everyone on both sides of the team knows everyone on the opposite side of the court. We know what plays they're going to run. We know who's going to get the ball in which situations. We know what defenses. We know what to expect, and those are the games that are really fun because the competition levels just are extremely high, and the vibes are good. The fans love to come. The gyms get really loud, especially here at Torrey Gym. Everything's echoing, everything's loud. I love the atmosphere.
Most definitely. The crowd's still filing in here in Torrey Gymnasium. We're glad that you've decided to tune in with us here on CIProud.com, our WMBD Game of the Week. But Claire, you talked about the competition level, and we were talking just before we went on air about, the Class 3A, the Central Illinois sectional, I like to call it, wherever it ends up being hosted, is always probably the toughest way to get to state every single year. So many good teams are on Central Illinois, so many good teams in the Mid-Illini this season. Obviously, Washington won the conference. They went 30-1. Kicking off their postseason run. Here they hope to finish the season 37-1 and down in normal. Metamora comes in at 17-14, but don't let that record mistake you. This is a Redbird team that is pretty high quality and has played some tough games in the Mid-Illini. They got some hoopers.
Yeah, Washington is an extremely talented team, but Metamora, as you said, with their quiet record, they have some talented girls as well. They can come in, set ready for the game and come in with an upset. So we'll see what happens.
It should be a good one. Getting ready for tip-off here. National anthem first. We'll step aside for a word from our sponsors and come right back as we kick off the girls basketball playoffs here on CIProud.com.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work we do to build America is what makes us stand out from the rest. We are Local 649 of the International Union of Operating Engineers, and we are looking for the next generation of equipment operating apprentices. With Local 649, you'll find more than a career. You'll find a family, creating legacies since 1917.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
Sam Lehman Morton, the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois and the largest Ram dealer in the Midwest. It's our annual President's Day sales event. This month, take 20% off all remaining 2024 Jeep Wranglers, or save over $16,000 on a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn when financing through Stellantis. Plus, enjoy a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $35,000. Don't miss the President's Day sales event at Sam Lehman Morton, where we do the deals no one else.
And there you hear the very tail end of the national anthem as we get set for tonight's regional semifinal action. Metamora and Washington kicking us off again. We'll also have Bloomington and Morris coming for you in the other regional semifinal right afterwards. But Claire, you got a chance to talk to both coaches before this one, and just in a nutshell, what did both of them say? What are going to be some of the key things to watch out for here tonight?
Yeah, Metamora especially, they talked about their offense and the ability just to execute the sets and the plays that they've been talking about throughout practices and shoot-arounds. And Washington is famous for throwing out different defenses, so that was another thing that Coach Hurst mentioned to me, is just being ready to execute their offenses throughout the different defenses, whether it's a zone or a man, making sure that they're communicating on and off the court so that they can be ready for anything. They got to really stop the runs, especially when they do get into defense and just run people off the line. You know, Washington is a team full of shooters, and they got to be ready for anything. Washington, on the other hand, is someone who they are really expecting to get to the rim a lot this game, and so finishing is a very important key for them. Just get into the paint, pushing the paint, like I said, finishing around the rim, and then defensively pressuring the basketball so that they can get looks in transition.
All great points there, Claire. And you mentioned obviously Metamora is going to execute at a high level because Washington is a team that executes at a high level as well. And you don't get 30-1 without doing what you're supposed to, stay on assignment on both offense and defense all season long. But again, these Redbirds, last time they faced off, 49-43 was a Washington win, but the Redbirds in that game were able to keep it close by shooting threes, getting to the free throw line. It's going to be big keys for them here tonight. And again, for Washington, you mentioned so just multi-dimensional. You have strong shooters on the outside with Avery Tibbs and Mazzy O'Brien. And you have great forwards on the inside with your younger sister, Becca McDougal, and Danny Gooday as well. And I've seen this Washington team play multiple times this year, and they can really beat you in a variety of different ways. So Metamora has got to be careful when they're on the defensive end here tonight.
Yeah, I think it'll be really important for Metamora, especially just to take Washington out of what they're comfortable with. Like you said, they have a strong presence and inside the paint and outside the arc, and so if they can run them off the line while contesting at the rim, they'll be pretty successful.
Getting set for tip-off here. Your starters will run you down for them as we get ready to go. It's Olivia Vaughn and Danny Gooday to tip things off in the middle, and it's won by Metamora. Their starting five is Vaughn, the senior guard. She is their key player to watch alongside Mackenzie Becku, Addie Wooden, Kessa Sell, and Ella Russell for them. And they go here to Sell down low. That one too strong. Brought back in by Mazzy O'Brien, one of many juniors on this Washington team. She's joined by Adrian Donald, Becca McDougal, Danny Gooday, who's got the ball now, and Tibbs. All juniors for this Panthers squad, as many know. That one going back to Metamora. So here comes Vaughn to bring it back up. Still looking for our first bucket here in this one. Double team there in the corner. Out of the high post and back out. Good ball movement here from the Redbirds. McDougal got a hand on it. Becku, nice pass down low. Thought it was going to be a block there on Gooday, but it looks like she caught somebody, and the Redbirds are going to shoot. Oh, it's Russell to shoot, and her first is too strong. Lint still on the basket. And her second. Sets, shoots, and it's good. So the Redbirds draw first blood. They lead 1-0. And Claire, I know you've seen this Washington team play a lot this season as they turn it over there. What have you seen out of their offense, which has been obviously so impressive throughout this season?
I think what's really impressive about Washington is their ability to score at all three levels with all five girls on the court. I mean, everyone out there can knock down the three, can get to the rim, can pull up from mid-range. They're all super effective, but they just really have to work as a team to put the best person in that situation.
It is a team game for sure. Metamora can't get the layup there. That was a good look from Becku, who couldn't quite finish off that one. Now here's Tibbs driving in the lane. Her floater up and no good. It will stay with the Redbirds. You got to be impressed with Metamora's intensity so far. You can tell their bench is feeling it. They're getting loud, and they definitely know that, it's win or go home.
Yeah, especially against a team like Washington, who's been very successful this season. Metamora definitely has to come out punching, throwing those first swings because they don't want to get buried too deep too early.
And we were both at Washington's last game, that win over Morton, that won the Mid-Illini Conference for them, as Becku's shot rattles off. And Redling Schaefer, first girl off the bench for Kim Barth tonight, brings it in. And there was a huge run in that third quarter that really opened up the game for the Panthers. As they get an offensive board, G'day double-teamed, kick out, McDougal. Now the Panthers slow it back down. It'll be a bit tougher for the Panthers to operate right in front of the Metamora bench, making plenty of noise down there. Tibbs slices in. Redling Schaefer, a very deep two. Off the mark. Another good stop for Metamora. Turnover the other direction. It's O'Brien speeding up the other way. Driving in. G'day, Vaughn tried to strip her. G'day gets fouled. That's probably a good scenario there for Washington. Lids on the basket. Just try and get those first points there from the line.
I think it'll be really important for Metamora to turn those possessions into baskets rather than turnovers, especially with that first lead that they had, attacking the rim and taking care of the ball. It was one of their keys to the game, and so if they can, again, turn that rebound and that transition into a bucket or, make something of that possession, that'll be really important for them.
Most definitely. I guess one thing to get stops, but in a game like this, you do have to convert them. G'day goes 2 for 2 at the line. She's a good free throw shooter for a forward. As here's Becku kicking back out to Bailey Nina, the freshman forward into the game for Metamora. Tight defense there by Redling Schaefer, and that is what she is known for. Kim Barthus likens her to almost like a pesky bug that just doesn't get out of your face. And we're going to travel there from the Redbirds, so now some defensive momentum for Washington to build off of. Tibbs, nice play there, wide open layup. Washington now leads it 4-1. A little bit of some regional history for you. Washington has won 3 regionals in a row. Metamora looking for their first regional title since 2010. These two teams faced off in the regional semis last year, and Washington got the best of them 67-53. That game was over in Pontiac. Glad that we don't have to travel quite as far here tonight. What was your favorite postseason venue that you ever got to play in, Claire?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I do remember playing over in LaSalle, Peru. Not that I enjoyed the drive that much, but the floor down there actually, it was pretty enjoyable to play on there. I think we played Morton my junior year, I believe. That was when Katie Krupa was still here in high school, and I had Georgia Duncan with me too. That game actually didn't go how we planned, but all the Christmas colors, it was a fun game.
Yeah, it definitely was. I remember we were at that game, and that was, I believe, the only time I was at LaSalle Peru High School, believe it or not. That is a cool gym for sure. Yeah, got traded buckets on the other end, and now Vaughn gets Metamora back to within 1. A previous bucket from the Redbirds coming from Addie Wooden before Ainsley Redling Schaefer responded on the other end. Quick moving action so far here. Not many whistles yet in this one. There's McDougal driving over. Now O'Brien lost her balance. That was because she got fouled. That will be the second on Metamora and the first on Mackenzie Becku. O'Brien trying to feed Tibbs. And they're going to call it offensive foul there. Claire, I got to be honest, I didn't quite see what was happening there. My eyes were on the pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they were seeing there on that play, other than offensively, Washington being pretty aggressive on the cuts and on the screen. So, they might see something that we don't, but I think with Washington, that pace that they were running at, if they can continue to run it, whether without fouling, of course, I think that'll be really good for them.
It is a good point. This Washington team can play at breakneck speed and can put up points in a hurry. They average nearly 60 this season. Foul on the hosts. That one will go on Redlingshafer. That's her second, and she'll check out for Jenna Spezio, 5'6" junior guard.
And that's something that Washington has to be really smart about. You mentioned their second game. It was a lot closer than the first conference game that they had. I believe Metamora got to the line almost 20 times that game, and that really threw Washington out of the flow that they like to play with and out of their pace that they like to play with. So if they keep fouling like this, that might put Metamora to an advantage.
Most definitely a wonderful pass up to Mazzie O'Brien, threading the needle, and she finishes through contact. That will give Washington a chance to make it a 2-score game as Russell checks in for Beku on Metamora's side. About 6 minutes through this one. O'Brien's free throw is too strong, but look who's there. It's McDougal, and she gets fouled. Claire, your younger sister was a very key piece of Washington's first win over Metamora this season. 21 points and 7 boards that night. Were you able to see her in action that time?
I did not watch that game, actually. I had my own games over at Bradley University. But no, I heard about it. Becca, she is someone who I enjoy watching, not just because she's my sister, but, she is a hustle kid. She comes in and she'll grab a rebound. She'll do the putback. She'll dive on the floor for a ball. She kind of does it all, and I might be a little biased. She is my sister. But as someone who's watched the game for a really long time, I really do appreciate all that she does out on the floor.
Most definitely, and that was exemplified in a game against Canton a couple weeks ago. That one, 3-ball from Tyra too strong. She had 15 points and 6 steals in that game, so she can fill up the stat sheet with steals, rebounds, assists just as much as she does points. As G'day, her look just falls off of the rim, and now Metamora quickly the other direction.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't take my rebounding record, I'm okay with her continuing the hustle plays.
Russell, a layup up and good for Metamora, back to a 2-point game. The thing you got to worry about, Claire, she's still got another full season, so we'll see. I'm not sure what the official tally is. Tibbs up and under, beautiful layup there from the junior guard, who has really grown her game since her freshman year. Again, we said it all season, no longer just a catch-and-shoot player, and you see why right there.
Yeah, Tibbs has been excellent on the offensive end, and when I used to play with her, that was something I'd always tell her, you put the ball on the floor, because she's very capable. She has great touch around the rim, and her footwork is incredible. When she becomes a triple threat, it's really hard to guard her.
And here comes Washington the other way. 3-ball on the way. Guess who? Avery Tibbs knocks it down. Michaela Reedy calls timeout. It's 14-7, a little 5-0 run for Washington. Claire, it's only 5-0, but it feels like a run is much bigger than 5-0. Everything's just amplified here in these playoff atmospheres.
Yeah, especially coming towards the end of the quarter. You don't want Washington going into that second quarter with all the momentum. So calling a timeout, especially when they have back-to-back buckets and, score, stop, score, that can be a huge momentum swing for Washington. So I think putting an end to that and drawing something up for the team is really important. It was a good call.
Definitely. And you're talking about Michaela Reedy, a coach that you're pretty familiar with. You faced off against her previous team. She was at Plainfield North, got to play against her once at the State Farm Holiday Classic a couple years ago. And she's also involved in Curly Boo Johnson Skills for Life camp, which I believe you're also involved in as well.
Yeah, that's actually where we made the connection of, oh, hey, I know you from somewhere. But no, she did Curly Boo last year, and that was pretty cool. We got to observe and watch the practice gym in the back, so that was pretty fun having her by my side on that. But no, when we played them in State Farm, her team definitely put up a fight.
Most definitely, and I bet our good friend Curly Boo Johnson might be tuning in tonight. Curly, hope you're doing well. Layup there for Mackenzie Becku. That's what Metamora needed coming out of that timeout. Now the question is, do they leave Washington too much time to score? Can they make another defensive stand? Tibbs and McDougal collided. Now 3 on the clock. McDougal for 3. Yes, sir. Big way to end the first, and it's 17-9 Washington as they kick off their playoff run. Fast-paced first quarter here in Washington. Again, glad you're with us here in our WMBD Game of the Week. Jonathan Michael here alongside Claire McDougal, Caden Sexton, Dalton Carmine. We'll be right back after these messages with the second quarter.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
Sweep-A-Lot takes care of your pavement sweeping needs for your parking lot or landscape. Sweep-A-Lot is backed by Purdue Pavement Solutions, trusted for paving, sweeping, and parking lot maintenance.
And welcome back to Washington. We see the subsectional here. Washington and Metamora facing off right here. Morris and Bloomington coming up right after this one, so stay tuned for that. And then actually tomorrow night is Galesburg, Geneseo, and then Dunlap and Richwoods. So those two regional title winners will face off in the Ottawa sectional next week. All sorts of talent all around Central Illinois. So Panthers to start the second quarter with the ball, and McDougal nearly went back-to-back threes. That one just rimmed out. There's Wooden in some trouble. Now Becku driving in, lost the handle. It will stay with the Redbirds. Redbirds, a team that have spent most of the season just over 500. Their 7th season in their last 8 years in which they've been above that mark. As Tibbs takes it away, and now is Spezio driving up the floor. And she just lost the handle on it there. Easy, though, to kind of maybe get ahead of yourself, especially on those fast breaks. And we get a sub here. As G'day comes in for Spezio. And look at this. We get official confirmation that our good friend Curly Booth Johnson is watching. Love all that he does for the area, running some of the best basketball camps. I should say the best basketball camp this side of the Mississippi for all the young hoopers out there.
Yeah, his camps have been pretty enjoyable over the years, and I know they just keep growing.
They're coming here next year, I think.
Yeah, which is exciting for me, especially too. I can go to camp and run home real quick, grab some food, head back to camp.
There you go. There you go. It's always fun. Again, they moved over from Dunlap. The camp just became too big for them. Now they're coming here to Washington, in which they're going to have a new gym. Not quite by the summer, but after that, McDougal, how did that not go down? Touched every part of the rim, but she gets her own miss. Nearly had it pickpocketed. Cross court to G'day, and she got a bit too ahead of herself. That's a travel. Back to the Redbirds. Overall, Metamora, I'd say, Claire, is playing some very good defense. They just need to be able to, like you said earlier, make the most of their possessions on offense. They've been cooking mostly near the painted area tonight.
I think them, like I said at the beginning of the game, just making Washington as uncomfortable as they can, taking them out of what they're used to doing. And the pace that they run the game with is one that's a lot faster than most teams, especially at the high school level. But these transition runs, if they can stop the ball early and find the shooters in the corners on the side, I think they'll be just like that,
Yeah, that was a great block there from Ella Russell, senior forward, who is motivated to not make this her last game. That's always another element to these playoff games. These seniors are just leaving it all out on the court. Tibbs from Eureka didn't quite get it to fall, but that is well within her range. Now it's Tyra with the ball. 5'4" sophomore guard who's going to be a big player for Metamora to watch later on in her career. Vaughn, deep shot, no good. She's still looking to get going. Just 2 points for her so far, and she really is the engine for the Redbirds. As Spezio off the glass, no good. Tibbs out. O'Brien wide open, no good. And a foul on G'day. That will be her second, it appears. And something to keep an eye on with 5:20 to go here in the second quarter. Could be detrimental. Might have to sit for a good chunk of the rest of this second quarter.
Yeah, she might have to be careful with those fouls, especially with how much Barth plays her bench. We don't want Danny G'day sitting out for too long, especially with their size disadvantage down low. There's another foul.
That one will. Oh, back to Metamora. Back to your point, Claire. I'm not sure if you were finishing up or not.
Yeah, sorry, I got too caught up in the game. But no, I mean, Ella Russell, especially with her coming back from ACL, I believe it was, is just such a presence down low defensively and offensively. So with Danny staying in the game, that'll be really important for them, especially with Becca having a foul too. So you want at least one of them in the game at all time to be able to compete down there.
Washington can't get two good looks to go. And I'm glad you brought up Russell. She was a Mid-Illini All-Conference second team selection 2 years ago. And again, had to sit out lots of time due to that ACL tear. But back on the court now, sporting that that knee brace. Nearly strips it.
Yeah, she's a kid I enjoy playing, especially because she was a topic of conversation even back when I was in high school about all of the potential that she has. So watching her coming back from something like that is impressive and inspiring.
Most definitely. And, Claire, we broadcasted so many, Washington and Metamora girls games, back in the day, especially when you were playing as well. Who was maybe the toughest Metamora player you had to face during your time at Washington?
Wow, that's a loaded question that you just gave me there. I think
three ball good. Meanwhile, there, big one for Metamora. That one was Kessa Sell, her first bucket of the game.
I think one of the sneakiest players was Kayla Pasha. She ended up playing at Parkland for volleyball, but she was very effective, very fast, and a big presence down low with her finishing around the rim.
Most definitely. I was preparing for a couple different answers. Was it going to be her? Was it going to be Katie Ramage? Was it going to be, I don't know if you ever faced off against Brooklyn Marshall at all?
Katie Ramage was another one too, especially I used to play AAU basketball with her, and she knew all my moves, but no, I always enjoyed playing against her. We'd always chat on the free throw lines.
Yep.
But no, like I said, Metamora has always been a fun game, especially because I've known all the players. I'm friends with a lot of the players to this day still. But yeah, they've had a lot of athletes come in the past few years.
Most definitely. And, I've talked with multiple people about the Metamora-Washington rivalry, and, most of them I talk to, not everyone, but most of them say that, the general vibe I get is I kind of compare it to the Cardinals and Cubs, right? Two obviously very close rivals. They've been rivals for as long as you can remember, but there's a rivalry that does at least have some respect to it. I say that as a Cardinals fan, I at least respect the Cubs. I can't say the same thing about the Cincinnati Reds, for example. I do not enjoy them at all, as McDougal took a tough fall, and she gets back up as Tibbs drives in, count the bucket, and one for her. She's got a chance to make it 10 for here halfway through the second quarter, but it always is fun doing these rivalry games, and it's always fun, especially when it is in the playoffs. O'Brien comes back in to give McDougal a break.
Yeah, I always enjoy the rivalry games. And, you know, honestly, whenever we would lose to like a Metamora or a Morton, at the end of the day, then you kind of root for them and you want them to do well, you know, as the team that beats you.
Yep.
But, you know, you got friends on the team, you got connections with the team. So there's always definitely a lot of respect with those teams, those rivalry games.
Most definitely. 7-point ball game here with 3:20 to go. It's been a good one so far. Metamora has been able to have plenty of counter punches. A teardrop three there from Sell came up a bit short. O'Brien in transition. Spezio off of her foot, back into her arms. Now it's Donald overfeeding Tibbs. Little spin cycle there from the junior. Finds a wide open Donald, rimmed out.
I think Metamora's been doing really well slowing down Washington's pace, especially with that last play. I think they had opportunity for a transition, but they stayed in front of them and slowed them down, make them pull the ball out and run something.
It's a good point there as we get a foul from Washington. Looks like I think that went on Jenna No, that went on Adrian Donald. That's her second.
On Donald.
So G'day, Redling, Schaefer, Donald, all have 2 fouls for Washington. Ball on the deck and into the hands of Redling Schaefer as they avoid the jump ball, which would have given it back to Metamora and Tibbs. Another aggressive drive to the hoop. She'll drive out to the free throw line for 2 points. Tibbs, a IBCA third-team All-State selection last year, and especially if they go deep in the playoffs, I really think that she could be a potential, maybe even a first-team All-State selection this season. I'm curious to see where she ends up going to play in college. I know a lot of these players, I think, on both squads, could end up playing at the next level as Tibbs goes 2 for 2.
Yeah, she's been doing incredible this season. I love watching her play, and I love watching her game grow, especially like you mentioned earlier, that it's not just the three-point shot that she's shown us. You know, she's shown us she can get to the rim and she can finish the floaters and the mid-range and all aspects of scoring.
A good take there from, that was Russell, and that's going to be the third on Donald here with 2:18 to go in the second. So Donald hasn't scored yet, but again, still a starter for this Washington team and can knock down some shots. Russell knocks down her first. McDougal back in. And she'll set here for her second. Nice rotation, but a bit too much there as now Washington comes the other direction, trying to make it a double-digit lead here shortly before halftime. From way out, Tibbs just short. And Leah Koster brings in the miss. First time we've called her name tonight. She could be a factor for this Redbird team that does like to shoot the three, and they're not too bad at it. Wild shot from Tyra, and it somehow goes in.
She's got a big smile on her face right now, running back to play some defense. I think, it was a great take, and defense kind of stepped off of her, and she stepped up willing to knock it in.
Tyra may have been the only person in the building to expect that one to have gone down. As Tibbs hands off to O'Brien, little hezzy and just off the rim. Metamora's done a nice job for the most part on the offensive, or I should say on the defensive boards, not letting Washington get too many offensive or second chance opportunities, as that one airmailed and goes back to the Panthers.
Yeah, Metamora's been doing a really nice job protecting the three-point line this second quarter especially, and forcing Washington to take some tough drives towards the lane.
Spezio checks out for Washington. Yeah, just a 6-point game. That was what separated these two teams last time, back on January 18th. 49-43, Panthers won that one. Here's G'day getting big. Good defense there from Russell. Or no, I believe that was, Beku. Cuts in now towards the paint, but they hand it off to Tyra. Coaster getting hounded by O'Brien. And Tyra mishandled it in the corner, gives it back to Washington. 40.8 seconds to go here. Claire, obviously you know Kim Barth pretty well. Do you think that she's going to want her team to hold or take a shot before time expires?
You know, I think she will have them just play. And if they get a shot, that's a good look where they know that they can knock it down, whether it's a point blank look at the rim like that or an open shot, you know, she's going to give them the green light to go. But I think Mazzy maybe she could have came off with a little more control, maybe one more dribble just to get that good angle.
They come in hot. Beku's shot misses. There's still a chance for Washington. Good defense from Coaster, and it goes back to the Redbirds. That call drawing some cheers and some boos, so 9.1 to go here before the half. And Metamora's got a chance to cut this to a one-possession game. I got my eye on potentially Sell or Vaughn to maybe take a three here. Sell's only got 3, Vaughn just has 2. It's been pretty well-balanced scoring here for the Redbirds. Good D from Rudling Schaefer. Now with 2, Sell's got a hoist up. Oh, and she got it! Can you believe it? Kessa Sell, against all odds, gets it to fall, and it's a 3-point game going into halftime.
You know, that was an incredible shot that she took, especially with Ainsley Redling Schaefer coming over for the double. But, you know, she squared up. She just kind of threw it up there, and, you know, the basketball gods were on her side.
2 kind of crazy shots there for Metamora, but before the half, they both go down. It's a 3-point game. You can't really have much better defense there if you're Washington. I mean, she was essentially double-teamed in the corner and just kind of threw up a prayer, and that one was answered. So it's 22-19 here at the half. Claire, any first half general observations here from a game that is maybe a bit closer than some expected?
You know, I think the biggest thing would be shot selection on Washington's end. They're definitely taking a lot of shots that normally they can hit, but obviously they're not finishing the best to their abilities right now. So maybe either pulling it back and looking for something more, especially without a shot clock. You know, I miss those days when you can, you know, play 30 seconds and you don't get what you like. But no, I think if they clean up a few of those shot selections, you know, like what I was saying with Mazzy earlier, taking one more dribble at the rim, going up strong, getting squared. I think that'll be really important for them this second half.
Definitely. Well, it's been a great first half of action here as we kick off the regional semifinals here from Washington again. Redbirds and Panthers right now. We will have Bloomington and Morris, the other regional semi, coming up after that. Dalton Carmine will join Claire McDougall here in the booth for that one, but going to be a good finish here. We'll step aside here from a quick break for our WMBD Game of the Week and come right back and break down more from the first half and talk more basketball. Jonathan Michael here alongside Claire McDougall in the booth. Right back after these messages.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. First down to last call, we're serving up the good times. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. At Braskies, you'll find what you're looking for.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoyunitedway.org.
Take the hassle out of pavement restoration with Purdue Pavement Solutions. Whether seal coating, crack sealing, or parking lot repair. And now featuring pavement sweeping. For professional quality pavement craftsmanship, trust Purdue Pavement Solutions.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Lunch service starting at 11. Meadows Avenue Tap. Discreet gaming, great food, great friends. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
And we're back here in Washington. There you get a look at the new renderings. Yes, some renovations coming to Torrey Gymnasium here over the summer. New floor, new bleachers, all sorts of fun things happening here in Washington. Or a story recently about that on CSM Overtime. You can follow your school and the stories that you care about. And subscribe today there by scanning that QR code or visiting clutchsportsil.com/overtime. So many good stories that our crew of writers have put out there recently, and much more to come, especially with the playoffs. Just today, actually, we put a story out there on Washington's two seniors this season, Gabby Meischner and Brooklyn Bowman. Now, the junior class gets a lot of the love for Washington, Tibbs, O'Brien, G'day, McDougal, but, those seniors, it's a really special ride for them to go out. Their final ride in a season, you get to break some records, win a Mid-Illini Conference title, and we got to catch up with both those two players and wrote about them. Also had some questions and answers for Central Illinois girls basketball. Definitely want to check that story out today as well. So plenty of girls and boys basketball coverage over there. Claire, do you remember, I know you're a sophomore at Bradley now, correct? You played it all with Gabby and Brooklyn.
Yeah, they were on the freshman and sophomore team when I was here at Washington, but they were always in the gym when we were in there. And, they did a great job just following with Coach Peters with the sophomore team and, playing. They would come and play with the varsity whenever they merged practices together. But, those were always two kids that, they just wanted to be here. They loved the atmosphere, and they were always team players.
Yep, most definitely. And, especially, Brooklyn Bowman, basketball's not even really her main sport. She's signed on to play softball at Eureka College next year, so she'll be staying around the area just like you did, Claire. Again, for those of you just tuning in or maybe not familiar, Claire McDougal here alongside me in the booth. Starter for Bradley women's basketball team, coming off a big win against Indiana State this weekend. And talking about the Panthers, this season, there's been just some magic in the air. They're one of only two teams in the entire state that won 30 games in the regular season. Now you're limited to 31 games. That's the most you can play in the regular season. And the only other team besides them to do that this season was Huntley, who went 31-0 up in Class 4A, albeit against maybe a slightly easier schedule, some would say, but elite company for the Panthers this season. Set the team win record and on senior night against Canton back on February 7th. And they won their second Mid-Illini Conference title in a row. Those Mid-Illini Conference titles, Claire, those do not come easy, especially when you're going up a team like, Bob Becker and Morton, who's in it every single year, and, good squads like Dunlap's always good, Metamora's usually solid. So, a conference title really does mean a lot in the Mid-Illini.
Especially back when I played, conference games are always the hardest. I mean, it's not just the rivalry games where every player and every set that they're going to run. It's all the conference games. I mean, I think Morton had everything scouted back when we played them, and I actually ended my first 3 seasons losing to them.
Wow.
So, when we beat them senior year at the end, that felt pretty nice. But no, those conference games, they're not always easy, especially here in the Mid-Illini, because Central Illinois just produces so much talent, so many really good teams.
And nothing has come easy tonight for either squad. It's Washington by 3 right now. Metamora has kept it close, and that just shows how good the conference has been this season. Redbirds went 6-8 in conference play, finished 5th, but they are giving the top-ranked Panthers all they can handle here on their home floor. We'll step aside one more time here on CIProud.com at halftime and come back with the second half and more live from Torrey Gym.
Need an injury lawyer? Get a fighter. Get a street lawyer like Todd Strong. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He'll fight for your rights. Get Todd Strong. He fights like a street lawyer.
My name is Todd Strong, and I've been representing injury victims for over 25 years. I have a team of lawyers that also assist me in the handling of our cases that have aggressive passion to represent injury victims and get the best outcome possible.
It's time to trade up. A job is just a place you go to work. A career is a path that moves you forward. Trade your job for a career in welding, HVAC, medical assisting, dental assisting, and more with hands-on training at Midwest Technical Institute. At MTI, you don't just get an education, you learn a valuable set of skills you can build on for a lifetime. It's time to trade up. Get the training you need for your new career at MTI.
That mountain of boxes won't pack itself, but Peoria Production Solutions will. Let us handle your packaging and assembly. Our highly trained team uses computerized inventory control and specialized equipment to ensure your customers receive their items on time. Let us help you grow and scale your business. Give us a call or visit peoriapros.com for a quote today.
Welcome back inside Torrey Gym, getting set here for the second half of Metamora and Washington, two bitter Mid-Illini Conference rivals facing off in the playoffs. And Metamora had a very hot first half for them, and they're a team that, they had to play a regional quarterfinal game on Saturday to earn a spot in this game, but they really put the beating on LaSalle Peru, beat them 50-14, held the Cavaliers scoreless in the fourth quarter and made 9 3-point baskets in that win. So if they can keep up the hot shooting from deep, we could have a big battle on our hands, and they'll start the second half with the ball. As the Metamora Redbirds boys basketball team, some of members of them in attendance, alongside some other Redbird students, some Washington students here as well. And all of you at home, glad you're with us here on CIProud.com. Big night of basketball coming your way. Bloomington Morris right after this. Here's Becku finding Vaughn. She gets double teamed and finds Russell high off the glass and good. And just like that, it is a 1-point game. Nearly a travel on Tibbs. O'Brien over to Donald. This Washington team, Claire, even though they're only up by one, I'm sure they'd like to be ahead by more. This is a team, though, that can really step up in the big moment. Especially we saw that in the last game against Morton, too. Third quarter, they just hit the gas, and game was over after a couple minutes.
I think when they put both offense and defense together, they can be really dangerous and almost unstoppable. But it seems to me that Metamora is executing their offense very efficiently and very effectively, getting the ball inside and getting open looks from the outside. And if Washington can't put a stop to that, it might be a difficult run for them to get back into the game, and not get back into the game, but get a lead that they're hoping for.
Vaughn driving in, and she traveled with it there. Tough position there for the senior guard. The last game for Washington, that win against Morton, again back 6 days ago, Tibbs led the team with 19. She's got 12 here tonight. Gaudet had 16 in that one. She's just got 2 so far, playing with 2 fouls. Tibbs gets fouled, another and one for her. She's starting to put the team on her back.
I love watching Tibbs. I tell you, a few times tonight, but she's been extremely aggressive to the basket, especially tonight. And, I think it's thrown Metamora off a little bit because she's known for her three-point shot.
Really added that extra dimension to her game. She's got 15 of Washington's 25 now. McDougal's got 5 more for the Panthers. Vaughn, nice slip up there to Russell, who finishes. Russell having a good game with 8. This Washington team, though, Claire, is so dangerous when they have multiple players in double figures. It seems like almost every game there's at least 3 in double figures. They can get, McDougal, O'Brien, Gaudet going in double figures. You got to feel good. If it just ends up being Tibbs though in double figures tonight, then it becomes maybe a bit more dicey.
You know, that's where Washington really does need to step up. If Metamora starts to take Tibbs away and take her out of the offense, whether they're staying in front of her when she's trying to go to the basket or having a high hand, someone else needs to step up, and I think that can be a team effort.
Vaughn, physical play there, going right into Redling Schaefer, who picks up her third foul. Or, yeah, that is her third.
That is her third.
And so Vaughn will have a chance to tie it up here at the line with 5:53 to go in the third. First one rolls off. Vaughn, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna add that these fouls can be really dangerous for Washington if they don't keep them off the line. I think that's how they got back into the game the second time they played them.
And offensive rebounds don't help either. A chance to take the lead came up just short there from Wooden. Here's Gaudet. Great feed up to Redling Schaefer and lays it in. And we talk about, you know, Tibbs being the focal point for Washington. Not many other players have really gotten it going so far. Let's say the same for Metamora. Vaughn, who's headed to the line now, just has 2. And Addie Wooden also just with 2 points. So Redbirds being led so far by Russell with 8 and Sell with 6, including that improbable 3 in the corner just before the half. Vaughn knocks down number 1. Spezio comes in for Gaudet. Be cautious with her minutes, again with 2 fouls. So she'll get a chance to extend her life in this one. Vaughn's second is nothing but nylon. Back to a 2-point game. Vaughn with 3 fouls for Metamora. Haven't really talked about that much. Maybe Washington's aggressive towards her, and it's an offensive foul. I think they called that one on McDougal. Trying to gain position there. Not sure. My eye on Tibbs. Maybe she reached around, trying to maybe got him with a hook, trying to get positioning, but either way, that's McDougal's second.
Yeah, it must have been a displacement or something like that. But she's really got to be smart on the defensive end. You know, she is a kid who grabs the rebounds and gets them extra possessions, whether it's, you know, diving on the ball or, you know, throwing it up to Tibbs right here, but she's got to stay on the court.
Oh, and Tibbs got it to fall. My, what a basket. In transition with her back to the hoop, and it falls in. It's just been that kind of game. You know, the open shots aren't falling, but the tough-looking shots are. And Tibbs with, that's at least her third old-fashioned three-point play. And she looks to make it a 5-point advantage and does. 18 for the junior 5'8" guard tonight.
Yeah, she's been very impressive this evening, and we'll see what Metamora does to adjust, but she's definitely the one that's keeping Washington with this lead.
And Wooden tried to find Russell, who got hit in the mouth. Back the other way. Could this be a start of a run? Tibbs slicing in all over the place. 20 points for her tonight, and she has been getting it done largely inside the arc. Metamora is going to need a response. Could it be a 3 from Vaughn? She got fouled. And will shoot a trio from the line. And she's fresh. Just was there a few minutes ago.
You know, like I said earlier, Washington's got to be really careful with their fouls. I mean, they already have 4 halfway through this quarter, and sending too many kids to the line is just going to put them back in the game. So they got to be smart on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, we saw on a game that we did about a week and a half ago, a game between Morton and East Peoria boys. Morton definitely the favorite coming in that game by a little bit. Vaughn makes her first 2. East Peoria won that game in overtime, 72-69, because they shot 34 free throws in that game, just hounded them in the paint all night long, and made 32 of those 34. Vaughn's third goes down, so she's gotten it done at the line, and it's back to a 4-point game.
It's always free throws and layups that we talk about in the locker room. It's those little things that make the difference of the game. And there's Tibbs again for another bucket. It looks like Metamora has not found a way to stop her in transition.
No, they have not. If they do, it'd be good news for them, but so far they have not. Vaughn, corner three, she got fouled again, and that one's on G'day, her third. And Vaughn will continue to live at the line. Gotta be cautious with those closeouts if you're Washington, especially on a player like Vaughn, who has that muscle memory down now from the line.
I can't tell from this angle whether she hit her or not, but I know you gotta let them land, and especially when you're closing out, jumping out at a shooter like that, you can't close out on them directly on line, especially when you're going full speed. You can't really stop yourself when you start jumping.
It's kind of like when you're watching football, the defensive end's coming in and trying to sack the quarterback, and the quarterback gets rid of it, and then, the end hits him because you can't really stop your momentum. It's just one of those unfortunate plays. And Vaughn goes 3 for 3, so she has knocked down 8 free throws just here in the last 2 or 3 minutes or so, and it's still a one-possession game. Redbird fans getting loud in Torrey. G'day posting up, finding her fellow forward McDougal, no good, but gets her own miss. Spins off the back iron. Nena with the board for Metamora. Has a chance to tie on this three from Coaster. Far too much. McDougal keeps it in bounds. Back to Coaster. Here's Becku finding Vaughn, lays it in. Back to a one-point game. Vaughn starting to come alive now for the Redbirds. Who would have thought of this? The #1 team, Class 3A, on the ropes here in the second half. Donald dials one up and got it. Her first bucket is a big one.
It's an incredible shot that AD just took, and I think they really do need to start prioritizing their shot selection, taking inside-out threes and layups at the rim, finishing strong, but they, with this back and forth game, you got to get a stop, you got to get a score for both sides.
That's definitely true. We haven't really seen that many runs for either team. It's been a lot of give and take on both sides, although if the team was on a run, it could definitely be Washington. They had a 22-0 run against Dunlap in their game back on February 4th. They forced a turnover there. 5-second call.
Credit to Metamora, though, for the bounce back. I mean, with every punch that Washington's given them, Metamora just keeps punching back, and they're staying in the game, getting to the rim, getting fouls called. They're doing everything that they can so that this gap doesn't open up wide and they dig themselves into a deep hole.
Beautiful spin from G'day, and it goes right in. There you see some of the best footwork in Central Illinois, and it's, of course, talking about Danny G'day there, who's got college interest from Chicago State, Drexel, and a few other programs.
And she's a kid that, I used to play with her back in the day, but she's always at the gym, working on her game, working on her footwork, working on her shot. She's a hard-working kid, and she's going to be rewarded for that.
Definitely. I was talking with her and some other players, part of the 5 a.m. club, if I'm not mistaken, getting up and working out at 5 a.m., working with some of her family, some of her teammates. Her brother JJ plays football at Illinois State. As Bailey Nina making the trip to the line here and misses her first. Redbirds now in the bonus for the remainder of the third. Second one rattles home, and now she's on the score sheet. Redbird students, they want some defense. O'Brien spins in the lane and gets it to go. She's got 4, and Washington trying to get some separation now, and it's back up to 7. Redbirds have always found a big shot to respond this frame. They'll run a set on this possession. Coaster from way out, nearly banked it home. That one would have been big, and now a chance for Washington. Tibbs had trouble bringing it in. Great pass over to Spezio, driving baseline. She got fouled by Vaughn. That's number 4 on Metamora's star right there. Not sure if that's the one you want to pick up.
Yeah, that's a dangerous foul, especially still only being in the third quarter. And she was the kid on Metamora who kind of brought them back to life with all those foul calls from the three-point line.
So she'll take a break for a while. Tibbs gets fouled. That's just the danger of Washington. You know, so many of these teams, I bet, are watching film on the Panthers and saying, okay, Tibbs is just a dead eye from 3. Got to get out on her, you know, and they got to really get out on anybody. Washington's got so many good shooters, but, you know, then Tibbs gets inside the arc like she is tonight, and it just completely can flip your game plan on its head. And she's got 23 here tonight. Tyra back in for Metamora. And Wooden checking out. Tibbs goes 2 for 2 and doesn't even hit the rim on either. We get a timeout here. While we do get a timeout again, a quick word. And for CSM Overtime, remind you that you can follow your teams, your stories, and the school or schools you care about, whether that's one or one of more than 30 around here in Central Illinois. Plenty of playoff content and kind of from throughout the regular season coming your way. Not too late to check it out. Again, spring season coming up as well. Going to be a fun baseball, softball season. We'll have plenty of previews for that coming too. So, again, multiple stories every single day there. And in case you didn't hear, tonight's game, if it goes to overtime, we will provide you with a code at the end of this broadcast, at the end of this game rather. I will give you 1 month of CSM Overtime for just $1. So maybe root on for an extra 4 minutes here tonight if you're looking to save a couple bucks. Here's the Redbirds now, trying to prevent this from becoming a double-digit deficit. Coaster, tough pass over to Nina, who got fouled there by Donald. That's going to be her 4th, I think. 2 players in big foul trouble here before we reach the 4th quarter. Both teams, though, do have the depth to overcome the player fouls out. Nina misses her first. This Metamora team, just looking big picture, you know, again, see on your screen, 17-14 their record this season. Nina goes 0 for 2, and Beku brings in the board. The Redbirds have had some key wins this season. They beat Richwoods, Minooka, Lincoln, Dunlap, all very solid programs. And as O'Brien seals it away, transition opportunity and a good foul there from Coaster to prevent the easy 2. And Redbirds don't have any more to give, so it will send Mazzy O'Brien to the line.
Yeah, that's a tough call on the defensive standpoint. You know, you got a kid who's running point blank to the basket. Do you give her the layup, or do you try and contest and get the ball? But either way, she's going to the line.
So the advantage is now back up to 10 for Washington, make it 11. This game was tied briefly, and Metamora was within 1 a couple times too. Like we mentioned, those third quarter runs from Washington can be so big. Now how can Metamora end the frame? 3 ball, top of the key, no good. O'Brien's got Tibbs wide open. She's gonna coast in for 2 more. 26 for Avery Tibbs. We're only through 3 quarters.
You know, we talked about it earlier with Metamora capitalizing on transition opportunities, but we see here that Washington, every chance they get, has been turning it around and converting a defensive rebound into whether it's a layup or a foul.
Most definitely. As we take a look at what these 2 teams have done this season, again, they always face off at least 2 times every year, if not more. This is their 3rd time meeting. The last time these teams met again, as we alluded to, was a close game. Becca McDougall had 21 in that one for Washington. She's got 5 tonight. So it needed a big fourth quarter to reach that same total, but again, Tibbs has done plenty of work for them with 26. And you saw what Metamora did. It was a lot of three-pointers, a lot of free throws. They only scored 6 points inside the arc that entire night as the Washington students and cheerleaders play catch with the pom-poms.
And I think they're making a basket, actually.
Oh, yeah.
With whichever cheerleader they're putting up in the air, she's, kind of forming her arms to make a basket, which, they never actually did that when I was here at Washington.
They only do the cool stuff after you graduate, I know, right?
They do the shooting on the cheerleader. They get a new gym floor, just have everything nice and cool when Claire leaves. But
isn't that the way it always goes? I remember when I played high school basketball, the team that I played for, of course, they got a new gym right after I graduated too as well. So here's O'Brien, a nice feed to Tibbs, great patience, but can't get it to fall. Time running out, Vaughn sit up, and it comes up short. Panthers gain a bit of cushion. They lead by 13 as they try to start off what they hope to be a deep postseason run. We'll see if Metamora has a comeback in store. 8 more to play here in Torrey Gym. Right back after this on CIProud.com.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. So bring all your friends, bring the whole family, because we could all use a bit more Braskies.
In 1957, Cyril and Lewis Keller invented the skid steer in Rothsay, Minnesota to make farming and agriculture work much easier. Since then, Bobcat has become an integrated and trustworthy household brand. Being the first to bring the mini excavator to North America, Bobcat revolutionized the industry with compact tractors, utility tractors, mowers, and other equipment. Quick and agile, Bobcat is one tough animal. Locally owned and operated since 2001 in Bloomington and Peoria, Illinois.
Back inside Torrey Gym for playoff hoops here in our WMBD Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media. Jonathan Michael here alongside with our very special guest, Becca McDougal, who's been killing it in her broadcast debut.
Claire McDougal.
Yeah. Oh, Claire McDougal. Did I say Becca?
That's okay.
Did I really say Becca? Wow. Wow. I got mixed up between a player on the court and then McDougal up here in the booth as well as our production team here, Dalton Carmine and Caden Sexton, give me a thumbs down. They teed me up. I think that's a broadcast or technical foul right there. Either way, Claire, glad to have you here in the booth as G'day knocks the one down from deep, and just like that, it's a 16-point game. Shows you just how quickly Washington can run away with games. We've seen it many times this season. They sense danger, and they just gain separation. And there's McDougal coming away with a steal, and look who it is. Oh, Tibbs can't quite finish there. 3 Panthers in the vicinity, and G'day lays it in. She's now got 9.
Regardless of the miss, Tibbs with the patience down there twice in a row, I think, has been really, it shows a lot of her discipline as a player. She knows her size and she knows when to be smart, especially around the rim.
A good-looking 3 there from Kessa Sell. And it just fell off the mark. And Metamora, again, was within 3 at halftime, 22-19 at the break. And they come away with a steal here. It's Beku laying it in. That's her first bucket tonight. She had 4 against LaSalle Peru as we get a whistle here. That one gonna go on Beku. That's her second personal foul. Again, G'day is back in the game, playing with 3 fouls at the moment. Vaughn back in the game with 4 for Metamora, but down 16, I think you have to just let her play the game as long as she can keep herself in it at this point.
Especially when you are in the regional and postseason games, you gotta throw everything out that you have.
And Vaughn, the senior, hoping to extend her career by another game, but buckets like that from Ezzie O'Brien won't make it any easier. Panthers now biggest advantage of the night. Vaughn had 20 against LaSalle. Peru on Saturday has 12 so far here today. Big three-point threat. She's really going to have to heat up and maybe knock one or two down to help spark the Redbirds here. Another transition opportunity. O'Brien just left wide open. Can't finish, but guess who's there? It's Danny Gaudet. 11-point game for Gaudet, a 20-point lead for Washington. After it seemed a bit dicey for a second, they look on their way to playing again on Thursday here in their regional title game. Washington's won 3 straight regional titles, but are looking for their first sectional title since 2014. Again, as we mentioned, it's not easy in the Central Illinois Class 3A sectional any year, and Claire, I know obviously you can attest to that, playing so many close games in the postseason, but I mean, you can definitely tell it's a goal that, Kim Barth has been working for, one of the most respected and one of the best head coaches in the entire area. Seems like she's due, I think, for a sectional title this year. It just has that feeling to it.
Especially with this really strong junior class. They've been playing together since Biddy Ball and growing up together, playing AAU and travel and school. And now that, all the schools merged, they're all in high school together. I think they have such a great gel together that, playing varsity for this many years in a row and now to be juniors, they have a really big shot at competing.
Most definitely, and they'll get a year to reload and do it all again next year too, as Redlingshafer got a transition look to go. And this junior group, most of them have been starters their entire high school career.
Yeah, I think Tibbs and Becca may have had some I can't remember, man. It was so long ago, but I know Tibbs for sure was starting. I think Becca started some games as well when I was a senior, and they were all freshmen. But all of them out there on the court right now are playing with us and practicing with us. And there's Danny, the turnover.
Loses it there. A transition opportunity. Becky too strong. Metamora, it looks like they're just maybe playing a bit too fast right now. A couple missed layups for them looks slim, 20-point deficit with 4:38 to go, but you never know, especially here in these playoffs.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to remember is there isn't such thing as a 20-point play, so taking each play one at a time is very important, which, it's harder done than said, but, making layups, taking opportunity after opportunity when you have it is really important, especially with this 20-point deficit.
And O'Brien got a good look after penetrating there. Just a bit too strong. And coming up after this, Bloomington and Morris. That one should be a very interesting game as Beku got fouled there on the way up. Morris the 3 seed and Bloomington the 5 seed, if memory serves me correct. Morris just outside of the 3A top 10, 25-5 on the year. Bloomington coming in at 15-11. Big 12 program that's taken big strides this season. Beku's first is up and good. And we get some subs here. And a timeout. Not sure who called that one, but
I believe that one was Barth for Washington.
And Kim Barth, we talked about her earlier in her 9th season. She is coming up on the 200 win threshold. She's 196-90 in her career at Washington. So if they can win tonight, win the regional title game, win in the sectional semifinals, and win that coveted sectional title they've really been wanting, it would be number 200 for her. So it just, the stars seem to be aligning, but again, still work to be done. And she knows that. She says, coming in on Monday, everyone's 0-0. That 30-1 record you see there next to Washington on your screen there doesn't really necessarily mean anything at this point, as impressive as it is.
Yeah, I think that was always the most important thing she preached to us, is anyone can win on any given night, especially in games like this where it's you got to win or you're done. And so teams are going to give you their best.
And Washington knows they're going to get the best of whoever wins in the following game, as long as they can hang on here. What a move from Tibbs, just a bit too strong. A lot of looks at the rim tonight have just rimmed out for both squads. Here's a baseline floater from Koster. Just a bit too short. And a double dribble there on McDougal. We'll turn it back over. And Claire, I got to take the opportunity to, let you tell the masses about what's coming next in your family. You have a younger sister, I believe. Is she in 8th grade?
Yeah,
she's going to be something big, isn't she?
Yeah, Kate McDougal is coming up, and that's something I'm really excited for. And you mentioned earlier, with all these juniors returning next year, not graduating too many kids, but all of these juniors, in addition to Kate, I'm excited for that, especially with Washington as successful as they are. That'll be a pretty unstoppable team.
Most definitely. It is going to be very fun to see. I know she's getting some college looks already, including Illinois. Shauna Green, what a season they're having.
Yeah, she's been enjoying watching them play and getting to know them some, going on visits. And like you said, she's been going to their games. She actually went to Illinois versus Bradley. I think that was one of her first Illinois games that she went to. But no, they have an incredible arena. Incredible coaching staff. From what I've heard, the team is also great. So no, I'm excited for her. I'm excited to help guide her through her recruiting process, through her high school process. And I'm honestly really excited for AAU for her this next summer. She'll be playing 17U up with Becca.
Wow. For Mid-Pro Academy, is that correct?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'll be coaching that team alongside my dad. And yeah, it'll kind of be a family event.
That is going to be awesome. Claire McDougal, everyone, basketball player, coach, and also after tonight, announcer as well. What can't you do? As Kim Barth will call timeout as Washington leads by 21. This point of the game, Claire, what do you think she's talking about? I know obviously she's a coach that wants to, still do everything right, even if it's 21-point game, less than 3 minutes to go. What do you think she's maybe talking about in this huddle?
I think the biggest thing and most important thing to talk about to your team is to stay poised, stay disciplined, and just stay locked in, because the game's not over until that buzzer goes off.
Most definitely. Again, we showed it earlier, but just for those of you that maybe didn't see, this is what the subsectional looks like. Again, Washington, Metamora, then Morrison, Bloomington here in this regional. The Richwoods regional, which will start tomorrow on February 18th, even though the graphic says 17th. Galesburg and Geneseo. Galesburg definitely the favorite in that one, but a lot of people are talking Dunlap and Richwoods could also potentially make a run too. The Silver Streaks are not immune. That should be some good action over there, and I believe our Owen Dimple or our Caden Sexton might be at one of those games tomorrow, that Dunlap Richwoods game, so should be a good one. And obviously those winners will face off in the sectional semifinals. Morton's in the other, kind of that bottom half of the sectional. Going to be watching out for them as well. Gotta love playoff basketball here, and we got plenty more coming your way, both broadcasted and also written. Both sides covered here for you on CSM. Panthers, I'm sure, will be in no hurry here with 2:40 to go. McDougal, nice driving kick. That seems to be what their goal is here. A blocking call there on Wooden. That's going to be her 4th foul. Again, got to give credit to Donald on Washington, Vaughn on Metamora. No one's fouled out yet. They've played well with 4 fouls.
Yeah, Vaughn especially with how much of a presence she is on the Redbirds side. She's been doing a really nice job knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to just give them the lane.
Most definitely. McDougal knocks down both of them there. Makes it a 23-point game. I know we talked a lot about Washington lately these last couple minutes, Claire, but, again, looking at Metamora, again, they very impressive showing for them tonight. I'd still say, despite what the scoreboard said, this game has been much closer than what it appears like most of the night, and they've hung tough with some very good teams this year as they go now for a fourth chance, and that one finally goes.
I think that's something, too, that most people won't give Metamora enough credit for, but their second chance opportunities has just been very impressive tonight, especially with Becky down in the paint, grabbing boards for her team, and Ella Russell down there as well, battling for the rebound, but they have just missed open shots, and you're going to have some of those nights. Unfortunately, tonight was one of those for them, but they really have played incredible.
They really have, and it's just tough going up against Washington. It pretty much demands that you play perfect against the Panthers to beat them. Again, Morton, the only team to beat them this season, 46-45. We were here in Torrey Gym for that game, and we joke amongst our company, there is sometimes such a thing as the CSM curse. There's been actually a couple times where we've come and done a game, a team's been undefeated, we come and do their game, and they lose, or we, maybe write a feature story about a team or a certain player and they lose their next game. But obviously, maybe at that point we're like, well, we hopefully didn't jinx them too much. But Washington going to advance to the regional finals here. Looking ahead, though, for Metamora, what next season and beyond looks like for them. They're going to lose Olivia Vaughn, which is going to be a big, big loss. Player that's given so much to that Redbirds program throughout her time. They'll also lose Ella Russell, too, again. Coming back from injury, major hats off to her, both what she's done tonight and also through her career. They will certainly miss her as well. But on the bright side, they bring everyone else back. They bring Coaster, Becky, Tyra, Wooden. Nina is only a freshman as well. So there are pieces for this Metamora team that went 10-22 last year, 17-14 this year. So if they can make another improvement, they're going to be right up there near the top of the conference.
I was going to say, especially with how many younger and underclassmen that they have, freshmen and sophomores who are playing on this varsity roster, like, it'll only help them in next year and the year after that with the developmental piece. They've been playing with these older girls now for a year or two, and so they got a little experience under their belt.
Most definitely. Just looking around the area, I was thinking about this earlier today, and as I was writing one of my recent stories on CSM Overtime, Tibbs got fouled hard there. I don't think any malicious intent, maybe just some frustration there, but the underclassmen talent in the area is just remarkable. I mean, there's so many impact freshmen, impact sophomores on lots of different teams, and I'm sure you get to see much of it, and as they get to improve, it's going to be a, I think, intentional foul there on Metamora, so everyone else will retreat. Tibbs will just get some one-on-one time with her and the hoop. 26 points for her tonight. But as that younger freshmen, sophomores get to come up and grow, you can say that hey, it's because in part of Claire McDougal and playing AAU ball with Mid-Pro Academy. You get to see some of the best in the area. If there's any key younger players besides obviously your younger sister Kate that you have your eyes on around Central Illinois?
Yeah, I have a lot of Metamora girls who come and play, some East Peoria, some Pekin especially, but the numbers just keep growing, honestly. I got girls from all over the area, which is great. I do it honestly because I was in their position once, and I want them all to have the opportunity to be able to play for a program that prides themselves on number one, getting playing time, getting exposure, but also, learning the game, understanding the game, and just having a chance to develop and fine-tune your skills.
Most definitely. Great stuff there, and that's really cool stuff you got going on for you. What's really also cool is Avery Tibbs just scored her 30th point of the night, so it's officially a 30-burger for him. Have to check in and see. That might be a career high for her, if not very close to it. Both teams playing hard to the final buzzer, and it will send Becku to the line as we get ready for a line change for Washington. There's senior Brooklyn Bowman and Gabby Meischner. There are only two seniors who get a chance to play here. Some playoff basketball. More subs will check in. Spezio is coming in. Lainey Dravis coming in, as well as Olivia Osborne, it appears, for Washington. So the starters get a big round of applause. They really persevered tonight, especially when things got tough, and it was a tie ball game at one point. And also Ella Russell checking out for Metamora too for the last time in her career. Again, great game for her, only 8 points. And Vaughn will get the curtain call as well. Also a fantastic game, fantastic career for her. That's the tough part. That's what I don't like about calling playoff games is, having to see these players' careers come to an end as Becku knocks it down from the line.
Yeah, that was always the hardest thing. All of my years playing varsity up until my senior year, especially my last game that we played at Richwoods. But just knowing that, this for some kids, this is their last game. Like you said, some aren't playing, some aren't going on to play basketball, and it's a sport that takes a lot of mental emotion, and you have a lot of feelings drawn towards it. You make a lot of connections through it, and there is a lot of emotion that goes into a night like this.
Most definitely, and the emotion for Washington will be a joy. They move on to play in the regional title game on Thursday. 66-47, they triumph over the Redbirds in the playoffs for the second year in a row and move to 31-1 on the season. Hats off again to the Redbirds for a game well played too. That really gave Washington all they could handle for a good chunk of it as well. We'll be right back to wrap things up and tee things off between Bloomington and Morris. Stay tuned right after this, here after these messages.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Now serving breakfast Saturday and Sunday at 7. Meadows Avenue Tap. Great breakfast, discreet gaming. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
Winter weather in central Illinois can change in an instant. That's why you need a forecast you can trust.
WMBD is your local weather authority and your secret weapon to stay ahead of the storm.
So whether it's a foot of snow in Bloomington,
icy roads in Peoria, or gusty winds in Washington,
you'll be the first to know, no matter where you are. On the air, online, and on the go with the CI Proud to Go app.
WMBD, Central Illinois proud.
And a 100% chance of a regional title berth is in the forecast for the Washington Panthers. 66-47 over the Metamora Redbirds. 30 points for Avery Tibbs in this one, Claire. I think that was definitely, the game changer in the story in this one. When they needed her, she really came up big, both from behind the arc, from the free throw line, and in the paint.
I think I talked about earlier, Metamora's biggest thing was to make them uncomfortable and take Washington out of what they're used to. And, Tibbs, like I said before, is really comfortable with her three-point shot, and she showed everyone tonight, I can do more than shoot the ball. I can get to the rim, I can pull up, and floater in the paint, I can draw the contact, and she did it all tonight, and it was very impressive, very incredible performance from her.
Most definitely. Danny Gaudet, second leading scorer for Washington. Again, these are unofficial numbers, but she had 13. Mazzy O'Brien had 8. Ainsley Redling Schaefer with 6. Becca McDougall with 7. And Adrian Donald with 3 for the Panthers. It was Olivia Vaughn leading Metamora with 12 points in her swan song. Addie Wooden and Ella Russell both with 8 for the Redbirds, 5 for Mackenzie Becku, 6 for Kessa Sell. Had that big 3 in the corner right before the half, made it a 3-point game, but that third quarter was all Washington. Coaster added 2 for Metamora, Tyra had 2, Bailey Nina with 1. Well-balanced scoring for the Redbirds. They end their season at 17-15. It's a team that will be back. I bet next year, though, they just hope that they don't face Washington that time around. Well, that will about do it for this game. Again, stay tuned for Game 2 from the Class 3A Washington Regional Semifinals. I will hop out of the booth. Dalton Carmine will hop in the booth. The good news, though, is that Claire McDougall, the star of the show, will stay in the booth for that one between Bloomington and Morris. Going to be some more great basketball. Stay tuned for that one and get to see who Washington faces on Thursday. But for now, stay right here. We'll keep it tuned on this stream. No need to go anywhere. For all of our crew, Caden Sexton behind our computer and Dalton Carmine behind our camera, I'm Jonathan Michaels saying so long, and we'll talk to you in approximately 10 to 15 minutes or so. Maybe grab a snack, grab some dinner, grab a drink, what have you, and keep it tuned right here on CIProud.com for more playoff basketball.